Hi, today we're going to be talking about Keynote Manager, how to use it effectively, and what the best practices are. So before we even get started with this, I want to bring across a warning. Having two Revit projects open in the same window will overwrite one of the Keynote text files. I'm going to show you what I mean by this, because this is one of the things that popped up last week for me. Guy was editing Keynotes on one project, and the other project, Keynotes were getting overwritten. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So here you can see this is my dummy offline file that I use for testing, and pay attention, this video examples the text that I'm using for this example. When I switch to another project, this one's a different project, this Keynote does not change. So I'm still, it might look like I'm working in this project and I'm editing all of these, but in reality I'm still editing the Keynotes for this one. It does not switch automatically. So please heed my warning. You will waste a lot of time if you do it the other way. You can do backups. There is a way to do your backups. It's just not fun or easy. So that button, if you want to do the backups, it's right here in this Keynote Manager Revolution Design tab. Restore backup. That's where you do that. All right, next step, we are going to get started with using Keynote Manager. So we want to start a new project or create an existing or open an existing one. By default, whenever you open up a Revit project that has a Keynote Manager text file included in it, I don't know about all the time, but they should be linked up automatically. But regardless of which, you always want to check what project that you're working with. So by clicking this little tab up here, we can see that where this file is located. This one is just thrown on my desktop in my work in progress folder, but your project Keynotes should be in one of these folders. So that's our firm standard is put it in the P drive folder under the project name, and then under models and then support. That should be where you should find your Keynote example. But I want to show you how to open it a couple different ways and what to do when starting a new project. Okay, so like I said, check the active project. To start the Keynote from scratch, pretty easy. It's just this, new, blank, and then it will prompt you to save the file in the correct location. That is if you want to start it blank. However, I don't recommend doing it that way because we have a master file built up. So we'll save that project in the appropriate location. I have that listed here in the standard operating procedure. The opening an existing Keynote file. So if your Revit project, say it didn't pick it up right away and you have to go find your Keynote file, well, you just go open, and then from here you go into your project folder and this folder example right here. That's where you can open an existing Keynote file. And then whenever you want to start a new project, so sometimes these new projects get going and they don't have a Keynote file set up yet, maybe they're in SDs and they're not doing Keynotes yet. So we will create a master file for this, and this is the master file for us right here. I believe this is going to be getting changed because the numbering in the keys is not correct, but just ignore that for the time being. This is our master file. It's edited by a couple of groups within Erdman. We are currently working on, and always going to be working on, editing this master file to just give the right information, not too much and not too little, just the right information so that we can start our projects up more effectively. For instance, we don't want to include a million things inside of metals because it will be very hard to find. We want it to be very precise and effective for what we want. But now we will start a Keynote from the master file. I'll show you how to do that. So once you created your master file and master file is being curated and everything, all we have to do is go in here and we hit new. We'll go file from master. So mine pops up automatically. However, if yours is not popping up automatically, which most of yours won't if it's your first time loading, you go into this settings tab right here. So this is Revolution Design, the settings tab. Pop over to master files, and we will go, and this is where the master files are located. So everyone should have read access to this project or this folder here. All we have to do is hit this little add button go navigate to Revit standards, and then that is, where is it? Add-ins, Keynote Manager, and then this is our files here. So you can add each individual one. So maybe there's a MEP one, maybe there's a structural one with the correct acronym on the end here, A for architecture, of course. I can go ahead and add this. Well, I already have this on here, so I'm not going to add it in this example. I'll go ahead and add that, and then now you can hit OK, and then you should be able to go with new from master, and then this tab will pop up here. So I'll hit new master. Now it's prompting me, where do I want to save my new file that I'm creating right now? So that will be your project folder under the support. For this example, I'm going to throw it inside of my work in progress folder under Keynote Manager. We'll throw it in here. All right, so a project is now started. We now have a new Keynote file inside of there. Any edits made will go to this. Sorry, too many folders up. Any edits